Good evening. In the last few hours, the Iranian regime has launched over 200 ballistic missiles at civilian targets in Israel.
It's no secret that Keir Starmer's time in office has been chaotic, to say the least. With approval ratings plummeting, public frustration rising, and even international leaders calling him out, things aren't looking good for the Labour government.
How about this for a number? Just 17% of the public think that this Labour government are doing a good job.
It highlights just how disconnected this government feels from reality. The truth is, Starmer's approval rating is tanking, and public support is nowhere near where it was after the election. People are frustrated with his handling of everything, from the riots to the economy, and it's starting to show.
I've been a Labour voter my entire life. You have failed to be the opposition. You have failed to ask whether lockdown was functioning.
Just behind. Can we just
Do you understand?
Shall we go on in?
Thousands of people have died because you have failed to do your job and ask the real questions. Well, I am telling you now, and I hope this goes out, you have failed this country.
With public dissatisfaction on the rise due to the government's handling of various important issues, it has become increasingly clear that Keir Starmer faces a significant challenge in regaining the trust of the British people. Many citizens feel let down by his leadership.
I think the sad thing is the country's it seems to be in such a mess.
Particularly regarding decisions that directly impact their lives, such as economic policies and responses to social unrest. As frustrations mount, Starmer must not only address these pressing concerns, but also work to reconnect with the electorate. The road ahead will be difficult, and without genuine efforts to engage with the public, his position as leader may continue to weaken.
3 months in, according to Ipsos Mori, you're the second least popular Prime Minister since the 1990s, beaten only by Liz Truss. Does that give you pause for thought?
What does Keir Starmer have to say about all this? Well, according to him, he's not worried about being unpopular. Speaking to the BBC's Chris Mason, Starmer said that taking unpopular decisions is necessary right now. He was in New York for the UN.
We want the system to deliver for the poorest and most vulnerable. Then their voices must be heard. We need to make the system more representative and more responsive to those who need it most. So we will make the case.
Where he emphasized the need to do the difficult things first in order to improve living standards, public services, and national security.
Oh, but working families go to work and they're families and they leave the house and they have a cup of tea. Best comedy sketch I've ever seen. Is the man a fraud? You tell me.
That was Mark Dolan from GB News, and as you can see, he's pulling no punches. Dolan highlights what many critics see as the core issues with Starmer: unpopular policies, even within his party, and a track record that links him to controversial figures and movements. Whether it's his support for Corbyn or his stance on Brexit, these decisions keep haunting him, making it even harder for him to win over the public. And when you add in the backlash he's getting over his economic policies, it's no wonder people are questioning his leadership.
He was absolutely furious with me. It was really uncomfortable.
In a recent encounter with the Prime Minister, journalist Beth Rigby confronted him about the extent of the benefits being offered under his government, and it didn't go well. Rigby pointedly questioned the scale of these freebies, which made the Prime Minister quite angry. He is also facing a lot of criticism for the amount of freebies he has gotten in his regime.
Been offered tickets elsewhere in the ground where it's more secure. We don't have to use taxpayer money on additional security. I think most people watching this would say, well, fair dues.
Since 2019, Starmer has received gifts worth a total of £107,145, the biggest amount of any MP. Almost 40,000 came from a single donor, Lord Wahid Ali.
He is known to have accepted more gifts and tickets than any party leader. It's worth noting that since 2019, Keir Starmer has received gifts valued at an astonishing 104. This raises important questions about transparency and accountability in his leadership.